Hey everyone, this time on Tim Talks Audios, we're back with our friends of Black Salt Audio. They're bringing something new to the Telos line. This is Telos Vocals. Hi, if it's your first time here, my name is Tim. I'm a recording and mixing engineer, and I just want to make things easier for you. Today we're going over the all-in-one plugin, Telos Vocals. This should handle a lot of the different things that we normally do on your vocals and wraps it into one convenient plugin, and now we're going to check it out. So let's dive into the DAW. So here we are inside of our session taking a look at Telos Vocals. This is a default instance of Telos Vocals, and we're going to dial something in real time in the audio examples coming up in a little bit. If you want to jump forward, use the chapters down below. Right now, we're going to do a quick overview of all of the controls. So let's get right into that. Preset browser right up on top, allowing you to open up any preset you may want to. We're not going to do that because we're going to do it in real time. We've seen preset browser up on top. That's nothing new. Let's go left to right. On the left-hand side, we basically have our input section where we can increase or decrease the input into the plugin. That's kind of straightforward with the input control here. And I'm holding down Option on a Mac. That would be Alt on a PC if you want to snap things back to their default location. Underneath that, you have a high cut and you have a low cut, doing exactly like you think, cutting your lows or cutting your highs as you need to. Now let's get into the middle section. The top is your EQ section. You control your lows, your mids, and your highs. For the lows and the mids, you'll notice underneath they have little slider controls. This allows you to change where the center of the low and mid bands are. So, just anywhere within the different frequency spectrum for low end or for mid. That's what the slider underneath will allow you to shift within the spectrum. For the high end, we have three different options in a drop-down menu: top, presence, and air, and this shifts things higher up in the frequency spectrum. Air being at the very, very top, presence being a little bit down from there, and top being basically from your upper mids up. Next to that, we have a built-in de-esser. Sometimes we're making things nice and bright, but it gets really harsh and kind of pokey. A de-esser built right in with a gain reduction meter to the right, letting you know when it's being activated and how much reduction you're doing. If you want to just cut a little bit of S's, cool. Maybe -3, maybe -6. That's can be heavy-handed. You want them to sound like they have a lisp? Crush it all the way. Just take those S's out. Underneath that, we have our dynamics section. We have control, we have push, and we have saturate. Control and push are two different kinds of compressors that have two different attack and release times and different sounds and feels. You probably have heard in the past of doing something like serial compression, the classic mixture of an 1176 and an LA2A, and having them in order going from one into the other. We're doing a very similar thing here, control and push. Next to control and push, you do have gain reduction meters, so you can see how much reduction each individual one is doing. Then you'll also notice underneath push, you would have another little drop-down menu. We go aggro, or we can go smooth. If you're going for a more rock metal kind of thing, maybe aggro is the way to go. But like we're using on our example today, smooth is definitely going to be the way to go, especially if you want something a little slower, just a little gentler. Next to that, we have saturate, and this is a percentage. How much saturation do you want? And then you'll notice, once again, drop-down menu underneath with three options: smooth, rich, and aggro. You want something to really cut through? Go aggro. You want it to feel very saturated and not very full? Maybe rich is the way to go, but you just want like something to kind of blend in, help it stand out just a little bit more. Smooth may be the way to go. And really, if you want, crank it up to something really high, click through them, find out which one works best for you, and then dial it in from there. To the right of that, you have your output control. This is the overall output of the plugin, but you'll notice something to the output meters on the right-hand side. There's also a built-in limiter. The limiting is something that we often do with our vocals just to have it sit in its spot. And now we have a limiter built in right here as well. So after all of your processing with your EQs and your compression and your saturation, you just want to pin it in place, pull that limiter in. And last but not least, down here on bottom, turning on 8 times oversampling. That's the only option you have, 8x. This basically covers everything you could do, because if you're working in 44.1, 8x, 192, you're covered. You're fine. So oversampling built right in down here. That's all of the controls. Now let's have some fun. Let's dial some vocals in on our lead vocal on this song. It's called Future Soil. This is available on the multi-track site. So if you want to follow along at home or anything else with this one, it's just for some practice, it's available there. Let's dial this lead vocal in real time using Telos vocals, and I have nothing else on the lead vocal right now. I just have it in its fader position, slightly down, and that's it. Let's dial this in.
Did we not stop to spoil our stinted seed and claim its fruit? Not conclude that this would be the future soul for humanity, but we might still stop demise, still fend our fate and prove our knack, still chase tack if we just arise. It's not too late.
Clearly, we are much louder. And I'm using the input and output to try to find where this vocal wants to sit within the context of this mix. That's what we're going to do right now, is just set this in. Even with pushing the input, because I felt like we needed to a little bit, the output is still kind of pushed a little bit. Maybe I could take my limiter off, but I don't want it doing too much. There are a couple points in the vocal, which is a very smooth vocal all the way through, that I just want to make sure don't go shooting out of the speakers and like poking your ears real hard. Let's do a little bit more refining with our input and output, but I think what we have here, medium amount of compression, a tiny amount of control, just really kind of focusing those mids and highs to help the vocal pop out of the speakers. And then once I did those highs, it was too much, so I used the de-esser to kind of combat some of the harshness.
Did we not stop to spoil our stinted seed and claim its fruit? Not conclude that this would be the future soul for humanity, but we might still stop demise, still fend our fate and prove our knack.
And I think what we have going on here really helps this vocal kind of push up and into this mix. It's blended well within the context of all of the other instrumentation. And it's not too harsh. It's not too bright. It's saturated, which is giving it some nice warmth. And it's controlled, all with one plugin. Who doesn't love that? So there it is. That is Telos vocals from our friends at Black Salt Audio. Firstly, thanks to them for sending this over and allowing us to play with it in real time. You can see there's a lot of the usual things we do with our vocals built into the one plugin, making it that much faster to be able to dial something in and move on with our mix, making sure that there's cohesion across all of our instruments. If you're interested in picking up your own copy of Telos vocals, use the link down below, and it's available right now. So go ahead and go grab this and start dialing your vocals in that much faster. Take all of those plugins that you normally put on your vocal chain, possibly replace it with one. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed. Happy mixing your vocals, and I'll see you next time.